All right. So I'm pretty sure about now y'all heard about the driver that was driving down one of these roads and slammed into the back of the car that unalived 4 people. I thought I'd get my thoughts on it.
The video given to us by attorneys shows what happened on November 5th on that stretch of highway. 4 young women from the Houston area were returning back from a trip to Colorado. That's their car on the right with its hazard lights on.
Looks like they were coming from a girls' trip to Colorado and experienced a flat tire. And so what they did is they adhered to all of the traffic rules. They slowed down, turned on their hazard lights.
Attorney Rodney Jones is representing 2 of the families, that of Lakeisha Brown of Galveston and Breanna Brantley from the Missouri City area. The 2 other victims were Myunique Johnson of Stafford and Taylor White of Missouri City. The car recording the video then gets ahead of their distressed car, which is now there on the left, hazard lights still on, and records the moment that car is hit by the 18-wheeler.
When you see the video, what does it lead you to believe?
You know, it leads me to believe that this driver was clearly distracted, grossly negligent. You know, he had ample time. This accident was clearly preventable.
DPS said the driver of the 18-wheeler failed to control his speed. Attorneys are suing the driver, Guadalupe Villarreal, and HEB, saying he was hauling HEB merchandise. They're also suing Parkway Transit Inc. and Scrappy Trucking LLC. Attorney Rodney Jones says the families want first and foremost justice for their loved ones.
You know, I done seen the video and I done read the comments. Now, this is just my perspective. You know, I'm not saying my perspective is the correct perspective. You know, this is my thoughts on it, okay? Because I done kind of been in this situation where I almost hit a car that was kind of doing the same thing too. I don't know what the speed limit is on that particular road, but let's just say it's 70 miles per hour, okay? I wouldn't necessarily say the driver, I wouldn't say you have to be distracted not to see the car, okay? You may, you know, look to the left, you know, look to the right, maybe you check your mirrors, but when you are, let's say, maybe a mile down the road, you look up ahead, you see the car, you know, but it's the only car on the road. You can't really tell how fast the car is moving, okay? Especially if it's nighttime. Now, in this case, it wasn't nighttime, it was, you know, daytime. But, you know, when you're going 70 miles per hour in your truck, you know the speed limit is 70 miles per hour, you see the car up ahead, can't really, you know, determine, you know, the distance is going. You just, okay, it's a car up ahead. Your brain automatically assumes, because you moving and this moving, that y'all going 70 miles. Maybe you going 70, it's going 60 or something. Okay, you see you coming up on it, but you ain't, you don't realize that the car is really going like 5 miles per hour. And you know, you look to the left, look to the right, you look back up, and bam, you know, that's one perspective, okay? But we all understand that the driver, more than likely, I don't think he was, you know, I wouldn't say this man was on a cell phone or nothing like that, because they had to do some further investigation. But you know, what I think the issue is both of these people's fault, okay? Understand, from the car perspective, from the car's perspective, you got a flat tire. I don't know what that is, an airplane, I don't know what that is, but you got a flat tire. You got a shoulder on the road. Okay, cool. Guys, when you got a flat tire, side of the road, especially when you're going 5, 10, you know, 15 miles per hour on a 70 mile per hour road, that's what the shoulder is for, okay? But even if you aren't using the shoulder, and you are, you know, just going down the road, you in your lane, you know you're going slow, your eyes are supposed to be in that rear view mirror just to make sure you ain't about to get unalived. If you ain't using the shoulder, you most definitely, I mean, your face should be in that rear view mirror so you can, oh man, he ain't slowing down, let me, you know what I'm talking about? So 2 mistakes that the car driver made. wasn't on the shoulder, you know, and wasn't paying attention to the rear view mirror, okay? 2 mistakes, okay? Truck driver wise, now, I don't know, maybe he was on the phone. I didn't even see no braking, so I don't know what he had going on. I didn't see no braking, there wasn't no turning, there wasn't no horn. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely his fault. Okay, definitely his fault. I don't know if he fell asleep behind the wheel. He wasn't arguing with nobody. He wasn't on the phone arguing. If he was on the phone arguing, he'd be wide awake. I don't really think he was on the phone because people got the, you know, the phone mount is up here, and it's like even if you got the phone mount in the window, you would see. You know, he had to be like looking down, or the brain is in some type of trance. Like I said, he don't realize he closing in. You know, I don't know. My honest guess is he was probably falling asleep behind the wheel. That would be what I would say. If he wasn't falling asleep behind the wheel, you know, the phone, I don't even think, like I said, if he ain't got no mount, we could say the phone was down here. They would have to do an investigation and see. But I don't know. It's a tragic situation, you know. Definitely, like I said, it's both of their faults. I don't know how this is gonna play out. Obviously, the family is suing HEB. Now, I don't know if that's an HEB truck or if they just hauling HEB freight, but we definitely sorry for the family. You know, that's definitely not the way that anybody should lose their life. You know, we can't play the blame game. Like I said, it's 50-50 if you ask me. It's most definitely 50-50. You know, some roads around here in Nashville, they got a minimum speed limit. If you can't, you know, we got a max speed limit and we got a minimum. If you are going below the minimum speed limit, you need to be on the shoulder, okay? I don't know how all y'all states work, but like I said, here in Nashville, on certain roads, we got a minimum speed limit just to avoid people getting slammed in the back of, because people will be going, you know, 10-15 miles slow, and you at 70 and you're closing in, and you're not even, you know, you don't realize how fast you're closing in. Now, I don't know, you know, what the truck driver said so far. Maybe we can get some more information out. But like I said, I think it's 50-50. You know, we can't just 100% blame it on the truck driver, and we can't 100% blame it on the car. It's both their fault. The car should have been on the shoulder, and if it ain't on the shoulder, then you know you going that slow. I'm telling you, your face should be in that rear view mirror. You know you impeding traffic. You know you're going slow. You should be watching. Okay, truck driver. Now, you know, we could have kind of made some excuses for him if he like turned at the last second, or maybe he was blowing his air horn, or maybe if it was a ditch to the right and he you know, he didn't want to like go off into the ditch. But from what I see, he just slammed into the guy full speed. I ain't see no braking, no horn, no almost turning. I'm gonna go with maybe he fell asleep. That's driving, you know, probably fatigued. Maybe he one of them drivers just running too long, but or something. I don't know. We'll get some more information out and come back to this story. But y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We'll be back with another one. Peace.